I think at this point, Tamica came through because Tamica couldn't take it no more. Tamica was ready to come in there and swoop on Manzel and Sherese and give him the business because Tamica was mad and she was tired of it, okay? So Tamica came in there like big sister, you know, she probably little sister Sherese. And hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, y'all already know we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. Y'all, it's Friday night, so we definitely got to talk about OWN's Ready to Love, Make a Move. This is season 1. I think it's episode 6. It'll be right in the description titled Mix It Up. Before we get into anything, thank y'all for continuing to subscribe to the channel. I got lots of content. Check it out. I just did a short for Married to Medicine as well as Married at First Sight. There will be more shorts coming, so stay tuned. Also, comment down below. Y'all been showing up with the comments. Continue to hit that thumbs up button. Continue to help me push these videos through the algorithm. This is still very much a growing channel. Trying to reach goals over here, y'all. Trying to bring more content, do what it do. Also share the video where y'all like to share y'all videos as well. All right. Also, happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Let me know in the comments how your Thanksgiving was. What did you do for Thanksgiving? Did you have everything you desired on Thanksgiving? Because let me tell y'all, I didn't have no mac and cheese. And that's where I was left feeling disappointed, but it's okay. I probably don't need to be eating that anyway, but I ate everything else. Other than that, it was a good Thanksgiving. So I hope y'all enjoyed y'all day. Did y'all Black Friday shop? Let me know if y'all did that in the comments as well. I didn't because I'm too lazy for all that, okay? Anywho, let's get into this review. Okay, so episode basically picks up where they left off with Zadia's birthday party. You know, we still looking down at the door, wondering, is Cameron coming? Is he coming? Is he coming? We don't know. Cameron come through the door with his loud shirt on. He also brought a gift for Zadia. He said he thinks she like yellow. So everything in there got some yellow on it, okay? Zadia, you know, she was talking mad junk before he got there. You know, she was like, yeah, Cameron don't show up the way Kirstin didn't show up for Ashlee. It's going to be an automatic no. It's going to be automatic kicking him to the curb. I was like, dang, girl, because he didn't show up one time. Dang. So Cam did show up, thank God. I knew he was going to show up, though. And so, you know, he did let us know in the confessional that he had picked up some extra shifts at the pharmacy, and so that's why he was running late. I told y'all Cameron was down to the Walgreens drive-thru filling last-minute prescriptions, okay? That's what he was doing, so that's why he was running late, okay? He had to help him get everybody their blood pressure medicine. So, you know, and after he got there, he was eating real hard. So I was like, dang, did you come for the food? I was like, girl, can he eat? Like, dang, Zadia. And so he was like, I didn't get to eat all day. I was busy. And so, she's like, did you come for the food or for me? And he's like, okay, well, are you what's on the menu? She's like, I'm a home meal over here, all this stuff. I'm like, girl, bye. So anywho, Donald had jamming them up too because he wanted to know how they was doing. Zadia said Donald was being messy. And Cam was like, you know, I feel like we're doing good. You know, we making time for each other. He's like, what you think? And she's like, no, I want to hear the rest of what you gonna say. Anyway, they bring out Zadia's cake. They sing happy birthday. Zadia said she didn't think celebrating her birthday in New Orleans would be this fun, but you know, it turned out to be a good time, thank God. Okay, it's a good time because Cameron came. Because let me tell you, if Cameron didn't come, she would not have had a good time, and I'm already knowing, okay? Because that's how we women work. Anywho, you know, everybody's mixing and mingling, having a good time. We get towards the end of the party, right? We see Mizelle. He got his eye, is his name Manzel, whatever. He got his eye on Vernesha, y'all. So he goes to Vernesha and he was saying, you know, oh yeah, this process is real cool. I really like it. He's like, have you found your person yet? And so she was saying, you know, she recently had to throw somebody back out to the streets. So she is kind of starting over and she is open. So he was like, oh yeah, you're a really beautiful lady. I would love to get your number. And she was like, okay. So she was like, oh, I'm shocked. Like, you know, that's Sherese's person, but he over here trying to get my numbers. But Tamica did say it's fair game, so she gave him her number. Okay, you know, true, everybody's fair game, okay? Everybody's fair game. You know, we want to hold Mizelle's feet to the fire, but everybody is fair game. But I think it's the way he went about it. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So anywho, next day comes, ladies is tired. They, you know, Zadia looked a little bit hungover. No, I don't know if she was not. And Ashlee was in the kitchen making a salad. So Vernesha came in. Vernesha said she got a sandwich on the way. She didn't want no salad. So Vernesha said she was tired from the night before. She said she had a good time. You know, Ashlee's happy that Donald showed up, but she's disappointed because Kirstin was a no-show. He's a no-call, no-show, okay? He didn't even call her, texted, nothing. So she got major problems with that, okay? So Ashlee was like, what about you? Because you had a man on your left, a man to your right, girl. And she was like, yeah, girl, I had options. And she's like, I also had Mizelle. Remember Sherese's man, Mizelle? I had him too. He asked for my number, and I gave it to him. Ashlee's like, girl, what? Ashlee's facial expression in that scene had me dying. And so Ashlee's like, girl, what? And so she was like, yeah, you know, now I got options. This is the hard part. So in the other side of the house, we see Zadia and Sherese talking. I was like, oh, they became friends again. So, you know, they're talking about the party and Sherese saying, oh, you pretty, you know, hooked on Cam. You know, he came through. They just rehashing stuff. And so Sherese said, you know, she brought Danzy. Danzy was trying to act like, you know, that was her date. That was her boo thing. He was doing too much. She said they had a good lunch date, but she wasn't feeling him at the party because he was doing too much. She said she liked Mizelle, the way he was, like, attentive to her. And she said they was real cozied up. She really liked him, right? And so Sherese said she gonna probably keep Mizelle. Now, mind you, Vernesha just told Ashlee in the kitchen that Mizelle then approached her and got her digits, right? So Ashlee and Vernesha come out the kitchen and join Zadia and Sherese. And so they sit down with their mimosas, right? And so they talking about the party. And somehow we get to the point where Vernesha is talking about, oh, yeah, Mizelle. You know, so Sherese is saying, yeah, I really like Mizelle. You know, he gonna be good, you know, all this stuff. And so Vernesha let Sherese know, like, yeah, girl, Mizelle got my number at the end of the night, and I gave it to him, and he been texting me all night long, girl. He said he want to take me on a date, and I'm considering it. And so Sherese is like, well, girl, he ain't been texting me, so it's good to know he been texting you. And so you could tell Sherese got mad. You could tell it. And so Ashlee was like, oh, I could tell Sherese don't play. You could see her face tighten up in that moment, and it did. It did. And so Sherese is like, you know, that's fine with me. But Sherese's thing is like, he hasn't been contacting me. So Vernesha also was like, okay, but that's weird. If he stopped contacting you and he's texting me, you know, that's weird. So it's like, this is awkward. So then we see Tamica talk to all four ladies because, you know, we about to have a mixer where we decide to keep somebody and let somebody go back to the streets. So Tamica Lee sits down with the ladies and she talks with Ashlee, and Ashlee said that, you know, Kirstin didn't come. He's a no-call, no-show, but Donald came back through, and, you know, it's really showing her a lot, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then Sherese is still talking about Mizelle. You know, she's really feeling Mizelle, and Tamica's like, oh, yeah, y'all was real cozy up together. So this part threw me, because I was like, did they do those scenes out of order? Because why is Sherese still talking about keeping Mizelle at this moment? But maybe she thought it was still cool. I think she was still going to keep Mizelle, even though I think Sherese was going to keep Mizelle no matter what, unless Tamica didn't come in. I think is what was going to happen. Because I was like, why is Sherese still speaking highly of Manzel to Tamica at this moment? That was throwing me off. Am I the only one tripping on that? So then let me know in the comments. So then Tamica was like, okay, yeah, I seen you and Manzel. And then I guess producer must have told her, girl, ask something, because Tamica was like, did anybody get out of bounds at the party? And so Vernesha said, out of bounds, or are they fair game? Then the girls was like, girl, what? And so Vernesha's like, yeah, you know, towards the end of the party, Mizelle came up to me. He, you know, he said I was a real nice, pretty lady. He asked me for my number. He said he want to take me out a date. He been texting me real tough. And so Tamica's like, well, what? And so then she's like, okay, we got to go back to Sherese for this. Like, how are you feeling about this? What about this? And so she was like, well, I haven't heard from Mizelle. He hasn't called me or texted me. And so then Tamica's like, hold up. Like, he hasn't been communicating with you, but now he wants to communicate with Vernesha. And she's like, do he not know that y'all don't talk? So first I was like, well, girl, what's the problem if y'all say everybody fair game? But, you know, when I kind of rewatched it, I kind of understood it better that Tamica's thing was, yes, everybody is fair game, but I think they wanted to be open communication about it, right? Now, if we wasn't on this show, Manzel would have kept it to himself. He was just playing the women, okay? But in this process, yes, it has to be open. Like, hey, I'm talking to other people. I'm interested in other ladies in the house, okay? So then they're going to have the mixer, and they have to decide who to keep and all that. Ashlee said she ready to talk with Kirstin and speak her mind because she didn't like the fact that he's a no-call, no-show, and she ready to get into it, okay? So everybody comes. Now everybody was dressed nice, but Mizelle, he came. His outfit kind of reminded me of something my dad would wear. I was like, what is you doing, Manzel? But anyway, it was just given very much 10 years ago. But he had his arms out. I said, okay, Manzel, with the arms. So anywho, Ashlee's jamming up Kirstin about not calling and all that. And he said, oh yeah, I was busy. She's like, oh, busy, too busy to call. And he's like, no. And she's like, you want some water? So they went and talked to the side. Okay, so then Vernesha, no, we're not going to talk about Vernesha yet. Let's finish talking about Mizelle. Okay, so Mizelle goes up to Sherese. He getting her a drink, a Chardonnay, whatever she was drinking. And she was like, oh, yeah, I haven't heard from you today. You know, I didn't hear from you all day. And then he's like, oh, yeah, it got late and such and such. And then I couldn't understand it. And she's like, but no communication at all? Like, that's weird. So she's like, you didn't call nobody today? He said, you didn't make no phone calls today. And so I don't know if he said, I couldn't understand what he said, if he texted Vernesha or he sent her a text. So then in her confessional, Sherese is like, I knew he was going to be lying. He lying. So meanwhile, Tamica over there in the wings and the cuts looking at the corner of her eye, like she ready to swoop in on Manzel and Sherese, okay? She anxious to get over there in her flower print dress. And so then Sherese is like, oh, I heard, you know, you had an interest in Vernesha and you gave Vernesha your number and all this stuff. And so I think at this point, Tamica came through because Tamica couldn't take it no more. Tamica was ready to come in there and swoop on Manzel and Sherese and give him the business because Tamica was mad and she was tired of it, okay? So Tamica came in there like big sister, you know, she probably little sister Sherese. And she was like, so what's going on? So then he was like, oh, we talking about the exchanging of numbers and all this stuff. And so she was like, okay, so you gave Vernesha your number. Why is that? But you stopped texting Sherese. And so he was like, oh, like that wasn't my intention. See, what had happened was I had got lost, right? And it was like midnight. I ended up staying there to midnight. And I didn't know where my stuff was. My bag was lost. And I just thought it was endearing that Vernesha, you know, would help me out in that way and all that. So then I was like, wait, what? You got lost? Now, I do know he have a service animal and something is a little off of Manzel. But what? You got lost? So then Vernesha looking, you know, like, wait, my name didn't came up. And then she said in confessional, now you not going to downplay me. She's like, because if that's what it is, you could have made that clear. But she was like, no, he lying. And Vernesha said, don't say I came through because you got lost, okay? Because that was not his intentions. And we know he's lying, girl. You ain't even got to worry about it. So then Tamica said, you know, all that sound good. I get your intentions and all, but I don't believe it. He's like, oh, wow. And so she was like, you know what? If you he's like, well, I thought everybody in this situation was fair game. We're like, duh, that's the point. And so Tamica was like, that's what I was saying, that everybody is fair game. And if you wanted to talk to Vernesha, you could have came over here, had a conversation with Sherese and said, blah, 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 blah. Hey, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, talking to Vernesha and getting her number. And then how, you know, seeing how she would have felt about that and moved on from there. And so he's like, okay, wow, yeah, you know, I'm just learning so much about this process and everything works. Tamica was like, no, you're not. You already knew how the process works. You already knew what was going on. She's like, you already knew the rules of the situation. She said, if you want to talk to other people, that's fine. Yeah, everybody is fair game, but you just need to state that, and that's your intentions, what you doing. And so Sherese didn't even get a word in edgewise. I was like, oh, Tamica more mad than Sherese. Tamica said, you not finna play on her show and mess up these ladies in the house. Don't play with Tamica. Tamica said, not today. Tamica was getting all, vengeance was Tamica's, okay? So, anywho, so Sherese went and talked to Mizelle because she's like, I got a decision to make. I don't know. She said, you know, I don't know how to feel about you, Mizelle. Your words and your actions are not lining up. He's like, oh, really? Wow. He's like, wow. Like, oh, my God. So, anyway, basically, Sherese threw Mizelle back to the street. She wasn't feeling comfortable with the situation. He's like, okay, well, you know, I understand, but, you know, that's your decision to make, and you got my number. So, she was like, she needs some space. And so I'm like, Mizelle, you can go. So then we see Zadia talk to Cameron, and she's still worried about if he's going to be able to make time for her. And he's saying, you know, it is hard. He got all these things going on, and he don't know if he can make time for her, but then he decides that it's worth it Ultimately, Zadia decides to keep Cameron. Of course she is. She's invested. She says she's confused by what he said, but she's trying to work it out. Girl, bye. So anywho, then we see Vernesha take Tabari to the side, and she says she's worried about him, playing around too much, and she lets him know that she needs someone that's the life of the party. Oh, she also said in her confession that Cantrell was too nervous and didn't have as much confidence as Tabari, right? And so ultimately she decides to keep Tabari. She did tell him he reminds her to have the excitement in her life, but she said she didn't want him to be like too much of the life of the party, basically. Like, girl, Vernesha, what you want, girl? What you want? Anyway, until I see something negative from Tabari so far, I don't see what's the problem. I'm like, girl, some of y'all be acting like y'all just gotta have a perfect match. Nobody's going to be perfect. Y'all just sneezed. I'm trying not to sneeze again. Anywho, I cut it out. I be editing the sneezes out. Anywho, then, okay, so Vernesha's keeping Tabari. Then we get to Ashlee and Kirstin, okay? So Kirstin was like, you was a no call. You were a no show. Like, I just let somebody go because of this. So what's your explanation? He was like, I'm sorry. I'm going to work on it. I ain't going to do it again. I was like, that is tired. So she was like, okay, that's all you going to say is I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm going to work on it again. And so she was like, no, you know what? I got to be choosing myself and I'm going to move in a different direction. So then he's like, well, all right. Took a sip of his water. He's like, sounds like you made your decision. Good to see ya. So then he started to bounce, like, thank you, Ashlee, for your time. So then she was like, hold on. Like, that's all you gonna say? Like, I just told you, you don't be doing this and that, and that's all you gonna say? And he's like, what do you want me to say? Like, you already made your decision. Like, so she hemming him up all against the wall. And she was like, no, because you're not even trying to fight for me. And you just gonna walk out and drink your water, and that's it. Like, that's all you gonna say? And I was like, Ashlee, girl. So what Ashlee was doing in that moment, she was wanting him to fight for her. So she, instead of just cutting it dry, I'm moving in a different direction, thank you, good day, the way he did her, she kept trying to like let him explain himself so that he would have an opportunity to fight for her. And I was like, girl, Ashlee, just let him leave, girl. Let him leave, girl. Let it go, girl. She wanted that man to fight for her, and Kirstin was not fighting for her one little bit. It was actually a little sad to watch, but as women, I'm sure we all have been there. It was just sad, y'all. That was sad to watch. Ashlee, you deserve better, girl. So Kirstin wasn't fighting for Ashlee, and she put him out the house. So then, Ashlee, she at the table. She gonna went through it, because Kirstin was her boo. And so Tamica come in there. She's like, girl, what's going on? What's going on? So Ashlee is like, I really liked him, and he had a nice smile. He was tall. He was good looking. He was my type. But, I had to choose me. He was not communicating with me, but, I really like him. And I was like, oh, Ashlee. And so Tamica's like, girl, no. You like the idea of being with him. But no, you deserve better. You are trying to put yourself first. You need to move forward. Like, let him go. Okay. So Ashlee's like, I know. So Ashlee's trying to work on it. She's trying to put herself first and not go the direction she typically would go in, right? Because Kirstin represents the type of man that she would always go for, the charming, the good looking, but they're not treating her right. They're not there for Ashlee, okay? Like she said. So then I guess Tamica got Donald on the line and called Donald up to come over there. Donald had to drop what he was doing and come over there and put his cape on, he said, and run over there to see Ashlee. Ashlee didn't seem too happy that he was there, though. She was like, oh, what is this? What is this? And so then she's asking Donald, like, what do you want from me? And so he said he want to build a nice friendship and then develop it to a nice relationship. He put a little extra more words on it than that. Anywho, she ultimately decided to go on and bring Donald back and keep him around. All right. You know what it is with Ashlee? She made a comment later on with her date with Donald at the end, where she said, she wants Donald, he's so nonchalant, she wants him to like kind of pull the reins on her. Whatever energy she got from Kirstin, she likes that type better. And Donald likes her more than she likes him, but she likes Kirstin more than he likes her. It was classic situation. Classic, right? Anyway, moving on, then we get to the ladies. I think they have some blind dates coming up next, I believe. So we see Ashlee and Vernesha go on the blind dates. So everybody's fair game, double date, blind dates. Two guys. We had Trey and Mike. Trey, I think, was in his upper 30s, mid to upper 30s, and Mike was like 31 years old. Both of them were good-looking men. So they had some date where they went to like a dance studio. And I don't know, I just feel like Vernesha and Ashlee didn't really try on these dates. Vernesha said they both, looked good, but they want to see what's under the muscles. Ashlee said she got Donald's. She don't know. She gonna try to be open. Mike, I think it was sharing that his last relationship was like lasted for 6 years. They're like, why you didn't marry her? He said he tried to make it work. He moved to Hawaii for her, but it didn't work out. Trey said his last relationship was like 3 years. Trey is a regional warehouse manager for some garage door company, and he runs like 4 different warehouses, and then he's also a personal trainer. And so then Trey said, he gonna leave. Mike said, he can't do all that workout stuff because he hurt his knee. He was in the military for like 9 years, and now he's a project manager for construction. And he hurt his knee from being on the battlefield in Afghanistan. Okay, so he said, he tries to live every day to the full, especially after living in Hawaii, seeing all that beauty, enjoying every day. Vernesha asked their ages. Mike is 31. I forgot how old Trey is, like I said. And so she's like, oh, you 31, you a baby. He's like, this ain't no baby over here, this grown man, boo-boo. And I was like, okay. To me, especially Mike, he was real good looking. I was like, why they not giving him a chance? They was just all standoffish. Okay, what's your occupation? What's your age? They was auditioning him or something. So then they said they gonna get out of here. Vernesha looking at her watch like she couldn't be bothered. I was like, why they not trying? Oh, this is an awkward date. Maybe they should have went somewhere else and had a drink or a smoothie after dance class. Oh no, I didn't understand why the ladies didn't give them a chance. They was good looking guys. They looked like they was interested. I don't know. Maybe that scene was for play. It was given very much. Maybe it was for play. But hey, Mike. Okay, if the ladies don't want you back, I'm interested. Anywho, they was like, oh, y'all might need a bodyguard for around town or somebody show you around town later. Vernesha's like, we can get your numbers if we want them. I was like, dang. Just because they not Tabari or Jabari. Anywho, then across town we see Sherese and Zadia going on a double date. That's interesting. And they're going to a pottery place, and the two gentlemen joining them are Cameron and Willie. Both, again, very, very handsome. No. His name was not Cameron. Brandon and Willie. Brandon was very cute. Willie was cute. Okay, so Sherese said, Zadia already got her man. So, it's fair game for her. She gave first pick of the goods. So she picked Willie to sit down and do pottery with her. And Zadia and Brandon did pottery in the back. The lady had them molding the clay with the hands. And it got real erotic looking for Zadia. So she said it was awkward. And so Brandon was talking about, hard working and he want to live the dream. And he said he want to put on these hours now so he don't have to work a 9 to 5. And Zadia was like, she already got somebody that worked too hard. So she ain't interested. But she said he did have a nice body, which he did. So then Willie and Sherese are talking. Willie said he's moved to New Orleans about 6 years ago. He works for a nonprofit down there that basically helps young boys who don't have their fathers in their life. And so Sherese really liked that he did that type of work. He also lets us know that he has a 6-year-old son. And so Sherese did ask a good question, what happened with the mama? And he said, they didn't get married. Things just didn't work out between them. And so he asked her, was she interested in moving to New Orleans? She said she might be open to it, but it would be hard because she was have to start all over because she has a business in Miami. She had to get new clients and all that stuff. And so he said, well, if you are looking to move here, I'm sure you would find new clients, and then, I'm here, I would, help you and support you, you wouldn't be alone, you would have a support system. And I thought that was really nice of him to say that, and Sherese really appreciated that. She really did enjoy the day, and we do see him in the preview for next week's episode, so we're gonna see. Then moving forward, then we do see the ladies talking about sex and chemistry, and the confessionals actually said, if it ain't hitting on it, she don't want it, okay? And so the ladies all agree, you guys some good sex. And then I do believe the last scene we do see is with Ashlee's going on a date at Donald's house. So she's impressed that it wasn't like a bachelor pad, right? And so he cooked, and so she was like, let me taste this food. She said it was good. I don't know, she didn't act overly excited about it, so I think she was lying, but I could be wrong. So then they decided to play some little card game. He said it's for dating or for after dark, but he mixed the cards up so it could be a little bit of both. She was like, oh, dangerous. So I think a bunch of the after dark questions came up, so she had to toss those to the side. Then the next question came up. He asked her about sex toys in the bedroom. She didn't want to say it on camera, but she was like, yes. And so she got a little collection, she said. So anywho, then I think he got a question about like, what did your last relationships teach you or something like that. And so she was glad that that question was not for her, because we already know what Ashlee done been through, right? And so he said, you know, his last several relationships just got worse and worse and worse. So then he began to take an introspective look at himself and reflect on like his own actions and what he's doing. And that says a lot, as well as what Ashlee said, as well. She felt like he was too nonchalant, and she wanted him to take the reins. I'm wondering, did Donald get a lot of women that were walking all over him, or like what was the issue that these relationships got worse? Like, was he going after the wrong type of women? Like, were they crazy? I would be very interested to know like what was going on there. Then I think she asked him on one of the cards, tell me something about you, like a detail, like no one may know, or I may not know. So then he's like, oh, I told you I was married before, right? And so she's like, come again, say what? And so then he was like, yeah, I've been married before, I told you, right? She was like, no, we've been doing all this talking. Nah. She said, nah. She sounded like she said something like, oh, somebody done beat me to it or something. I was like, girl, you was gonna marry Donald. And she was over there talking about, yeah, I can see myself in the house with him. I just put a women's touch on it. I was like, Ashlee, you play all day, girl. So Ashlee's real shocked that he was married before. She was like, I feel like we got to start over. Like, he jumping out the closet with skeletons and all this. And I was like, how is this a skeleton? Y'all barely getting to know each other. You only been in the house for a month. So you don't even know this guy. This is still new, where this would be considered new information. It's not like y'all been together 2 years and all of a sudden he's like, oh, by the way, I was married before. So anyway, Ashlee gonna overreact if she don't do nothing else. But we're gonna see where it goes next week, y'all. Let me know what y'all thought of the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all again tomorrow night for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Bye.